The people who caused most grief for the establishment as far as health and safety is concerned, and this year we had a number of different nominations from various organisations for the Allan Awards, including Warwick Parnell from the Women's Environmental Network in Scotland, Herbert Nobby Stiles is convener of Unite in North East Lincolnshire 10435 branch, Michael Lees, who's been campaigning on asbestos in schools. The Blacklist Support Group, which is a construction workers campaign you're probably aware of, are campaigning against the practice of blacklisting trade union activists in that particular industry, particularly targeted at health and safety measures. Audra Sneary, President of Dorset County Council JMB branch, and Laurie Kazan-Allan, who's over a number of years now been running the British Asbestos newsletter, coordinating International Ban Asbestos Secretariat and various other activities around asbestos. So quite a strong field, in fact, for the award. And I have here the official, very glitzy award envelope. You see no expense spared in the hazards campaign. Where I'm going to announce who the winner of the award is. And to present the awards, we've got E. Barker coming down, who was Allan's long-term partner and is also very active in the production of Hazards magazine, has been a long-term member of Hazards campaign herself. And in fact, there are two winners of the award this year. The first winner of the award is Michael Lees from the... Those of you who've been coming to Hazards Conference for the last couple of years will know Michael quite well because he's been a regular attender at the conference. Michael started campaigning on asbestos in mesothelioma after his wife Gina died from mesothelioma. And Gina was a teacher. She died because she was exposed to asbestos in the schools where she was working over the years. And it wasn't well known at the time that actually there was a serious risk of asbestos exposure in schools because of the nature of the construction of those buildings. And it wasn't just construction workers who were facing risks, it was teachers and, for that matter, children working in those schools who faced the risk. And Michael has been campaigning tirelessly since then to try and get that message across, try and work with the unions and try and put pressure on the government to do things about improving that particular situation. So I'd like to say thanks very much to Michael for the work he does and ask him to present the award.
Thank you, Eve, and thank you, Doug, for those kind words. I've been coming here for 3 years now, and it is a great honour for your friends, my friends and colleagues, to actually nominate me and present me with this Allan Award. Now, Allan is somebody who I've known about for a good number of years and highly respect, because Allan was at the forefront of actually making people aware about the dangers of asbestos. It was back in the 1970s when the government and when industry and various people were really saying that asbestos is safe. And Allan was at the forefront of saying, no, it is not. The regulations you have in place at the moment are not sufficient to look after people. And so Allan actually succeeded in what he was doing. He raised the awareness of asbestos throughout the whole of the country. And he did it because he was knowledgeable, he was able, and also he was persistent in doing it. When my wife Gina died, she was a school teacher, as Doug mentioned, and she died of mesothelioma. And at her inquest, the coroner gave a verdict of death from industrial disease. And I thought to myself, why on earth should a primary school teacher die of an industrial disease? Well, the reason is the fact there was negligence. People knew that the dangers were there when Gina first started teaching. And it was negligence exactly the same as it is when you have cleaners dying of mesothelioma, people in the workplace dying, when you get carpenters dying, shipbuilders dying. It is invariably negligence. In the case of schools, back in 1967, they were actually warned about the dangers of asbestos, but they did nothing about it. They were asked to carry out a risk assessment, but they have not carried out a risk assessment or an audit to assess the scale of the problem. And the reason that we know, having read confidential documents under the Freedom of Information Act, is they're afraid if they carried out a risk assessment in schools or an audit, then people would panic. People, you and me, parents, in my case grandparents, would panic and actually demand the removal of all asbestos. And therefore this most basic principle of risk management has not been carried out. Now that has been the case over the years. Now what we have been doing, we've been trying to persuade the last government, and we are now trying to persuade this present government, that they must carry out a risk assessment. They must assess the scale of the risk. And because they haven't done it, as you heard recently, these cuts under the Building Schools of the Future initiative, they're able to get away with that because they're able to say there's very little risk. Now we are moving things forwards, and the reason we're moving things forwards is because people are beginning to speak with a common voice. All the 6 teaching unions have come together. The 3 support staff unions, GMB, Unite and Unison, have now joined our group, and they're speaking with a common voice. The Hazards Campaign, they're on side. The Asbestos Support Forum are on side. The asbestos consultants are on side. And so we have the expertise actually to do something. And what is vitally important, that we are speaking with a united voice, and that united voice is a very powerful voice. And above all, we are very, very persistent, as Allan was, and by doing that, we will achieve our aims. We will make schools safe.